Saturday Night Live in New York City. No, it's gonna be quite the opposite of live, actually.
Guys, whatever happened to the lost SNL Jake Novak season?
Dude, Luke and I were talking about that actually.
They filmed
like,
the whole thing.
A while ago.
Completely. A lot of people don't know that after he made that I Want to Be in the Next SNL cast member video, they were hooked. They brought him on, and they only took him off because of some really bad comments.
Right, yeah.
And they deleted the whole season.
I actually realized immediately that he was a huge racist.
Extremely anti-Semitic. Like eldritch racist. Original racism.
I mean, he was getting.
You say original racist? Yeah, I'm an original racist.
Yeah. Like the first ones.
Yeah, I was a racist.
Fathers of racism.
Dude, do you think the fathers of racism were like blue? And they were like, "What the hell is wrong with everybody else?"
This is sick.
They're like, "Come on, why aren't you blue?"
I imagine the first two different skin color races to interact. They probably tried to skirt around it for a little while, right? Where they're they were both clearly peeved.
Okay, man, listen. We gotta address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
One of us is a different damn color, okay?
If no one else is gonna say it, I'll bite the bullet. You guys are not the same color.
You do not look like me.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that yet.
Yeah.
But I'm just noticing.
But there's an inkling there. I'll say that.
I'm gonna start noticing stuff.
Yeah, it's a conversation between three different people. It's just like two guys. One guy's like Middle Eastern, the other guy's white. Mm-hmm. Third guy's a Navi.
Oh,
and he's like the Navi's. He's the one who's like, you guys look different.
Hey,
I don't know if you noticed this or not, but you guys have kind of a different skin color.
And that was when racism was invented, right there on the spot.
Yeah, and that's when General Quidditch was born in Avatar.
Wow.
The Avatar timeline.
Did you say Admiral Quidditch?
Yeah. It was like Quaritch, right? Yeah, it was not.
Yeah.
Something like Quidditch.
I guess to do a bit of an intro, this is podcast episode 39 for the Nondescript Video Club.
Almost 40.
We've actually recorded episode 38. We haven't posted it yet.
Yeah.
So you might not be hearing this until I don't know, a couple weeks. You might be a couple weeks ahead of us. So
could be next year for all.
Hopefully, hopefully nothing.
You guys will probably be hearing this around the time of the attacks.
Yeah. Hopefully nothing happens that just dates this whole podcast horribly. Because we have to post it.
Mm-hmm.
Very inconsistent.
Yeah, we'll definitely be posting this around the time of the attack, so just
right.
You'll know.
Yeah, we can't say before or after.
Just when it happens, check the Nondescript Video Club YouTube channel. The dates will line up.
Yeah.
And we're open. We're available for interviews.
Yep. And this is also just an alibi. We were here in our apartment recording this podcast, not anywhere else.
Yeah, you can check the timestamp on the video. This is where we were.
Which, speaking of alibis, of in regards to domestic terror attacks. I know we talked about a while back. We joked about the James Cameron being underwater.
Yeah.
And
the ultimate alibi.
And I know it's come up a couple times now where we've kind of been unsure whether or not that was actually a true thing.
Yes.
But I did finally find the clip from James Cameron's documentary on the Titanic that has it. It is almost the ending of the documentary where he comes up from the water and they tell him that there's been a tragedy, the towers have been struck, and then they do this super awesome emotional editing move where they point the camera at James Cameron, fade to black and white, and slow it down and start bringing in like this sad emotional piano music. Which is awesome.
They show like a montage of photos of him having a great time at the World Trade Center. And then one of them says, this is really the Titanic of our time.
Dude, imagine an alternate universe where James Cameron was born like in 2000 and made a movie a Titanic scale movie about 9/11.
That could be so.
I think that, again, we might have talked about this already, but I think that's next for him, or maybe not next, but
maybe last.
It's in the maybe it would be the last thing he ever makes.
Yeah, that's the last thing he does.
Whether it be by choice or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's in the cards, I think, the James Cameron 9/11 epic.
He's clearly when I think about directors capable of, tastefully depicting, massive scale tragedy. On a human level, I think the Terminator 2. I think Aliens. I think Jimmy. I think of Jimmy.
I think of Jimmy Cams.
I imagine that he'll end his career with an absolutely baller 9/11 movie. When I think about it, I'm imagining like I feel like if the Titanic sank like today, I feel like it would be clowned on like immediately.
Oh my god!
I feel like people.
Everyone would be like, "What?"
people would say like, "Yo, a bunch of rich like fucking bozos drowned in the Atlantic. Good riddance."
People would be like, "White Star Line's unsinkable ship is absolutely tanked it."
A Carnival cruise is at the bottom of the Atlantic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, the closest thing that we've had happen to the Titanic, I think, in terms of nautical accidents, is like the Costa Concordia in like 2013 or something, whenever. But I don't know if anyone even died on that. I don't know. I think that was just like
it was very few. It was like 6 people.
It was just the boat just like tipped over, kind of, and
yeah, that one was like that. That wasn't.
Oh, I remember
like
that.
The Titanic was tragic. The Costa Concordia was just like embarrassing.
Yeah,
and like pretty lame.
The Titanic was tragically embarrassing. Like
yeah.
Every part of the way they ended up sinking is so goofy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They hit an iceberg, bro, in the ocean. That's like hitting another plane in the sky.
It's like impossible.
Well,
There's barely anything big enough to sink your ship in the entire ocean.
Well, actually, I actually was. My YouTube feed is. I mean, you know me. I'm a Titanic head. You know, I was repping Titanic since I've been like 6 years old. You know, but
I love that. I love the Titanic.
But I actually was watching a video last night about the Titanic and its crash, and apparently, actually, though, I know you said that it's like, yeah, it is like it is one iceberg in like a whole ocean, but apparently there's actually like a shit ton of icebergs in the spot where they got hit, or where they hit the iceberg.
So why were they even there?
Well, that was the captain apparently was like he just wanted to get there faster, and he was like, you know what? He was
dodging weed.
That was literally his logic.
I'll be in my quarters.
Like, I think his logic was literally like, oh yeah, no, I mean, there'll be more icebergs, but like they had received warnings throughout the day that was like, hey, like you should go south of this area because there's gonna be like mega icebergs just chilling, you know. And
yeah,
the captain was just like, you know,
also,
I trust
like,
my guys, you know, and he shouldn't have trusted his
I'm up for a
guys.
challenge. Yeah.
Like, it's not only that they hit the iceberg too. It's like when you hear the story of the Titanic for the first time, and you hear the Titanic struck an iceberg. Like, maybe if you haven't heard the story, you think in your head, like, oh my god, they, like, rammed straight into the iceberg and it like, exploded. But no, they just, like, grazed it and then very slowly sank for the next, like, 5 hours.
Yeah. It was really, like, boring. It was an absolutely not, like, dramatic sinking at all until, like, the very end. Then it, like, snapped in half, and then it kind of got crazy. But, like, yeah, up until that, it was pretty slow. And also what was funny is the sheer number of things that just, like, didn't work as they were supposed to. Like, they had all, like, the watertight doors. None of those fucking worked. They didn't have enough lifeboats. Like, what? It's like, what were they doing? Like, what was the plan?
To contrast, like, we talked about Jake Novak, who has in my opinion, the Titanic of SNL auditions. Like, the guy who made the boat and the guy who said that it was like totally unsinkable is on the boat. And he gets on and he's like one of the few people on a lifeboat who lives. Like, that has to be the most embarrassed any person has ever been in their, like, ever. Like, that's the single most moment.
If I, in my present state of life, were responsible for constructing a boat that was to sail across the Atlantic, and then I was on that boat while it was sinking, I would have fucking jumped off and killed myself. Like straight up, I would not, in my current state in life, I would not be mentally strong enough to go home and face the fucking shame.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, no, I couldn't.
Like, what are you gonna do? Go home and design more boats? No.
Yeah, it's all right. Maybe the next one. I'll see you guys later.
Like, happens to the best of us, clearly. So,
yeah, like, what was he doing? Like, I'm imagining, like, the conversation on the lifeboat. Like, who else? Like, other people who would happen to know that he designed the boat. Or
it's like he has no like ship authority. He has no naval authority, but they give him like a captain's like outfit to wear, and he just gets to walk around the ship being like, "Hey, I built this. I designed it."
You guys having a good time?
You're welcome.
Well,
I designed the ship.
I don't suppose you
Enjoy yourselves.
Like, imagine if there was a guy like that for like any given tragedy. Do you see these? Like, slaps the roof. He's like, these are my uncollapsible towers. See these? This is my unexplodable balloon.
This guy walking around the Hindenburg.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, you like this bad boy?
Yeah.
Got it.
And the design on the back, yeah, that's just for fun. That does not have to do with anything. Okay?
No, that's just, we get our funding from advertisers, and
Yeah.
we had one major benefactor.
Yeah, it's we have a sponsorship with this is Germany. Sorry, sir.
Take the research grant.
What, Germany?
Get it.
Yeah. That's funny.
Just ignore that. I'm a balloon man, not a politician, I'll put whatever you want on the balloon.
I'm a balloon man.
Hey, I don't know. They were paying.
He's I imagine when someone who says they're a balloon guy, it's like, I imagine you're like the guy who goes around like restaurants with balloons and makes balloon animals for children. That's the.
I always hated that, frankly. Like, especially as a kid, when you say that, that makes me think of. I imagine we've all been to Rainforest Cafe. Like, we all went to Rainforest Cafe as a child.
Oh yeah.
I've never been.
Damn, Cade. Well, I'd say you're missing out.
Too scared of the tree.
Tracy Tree, dude. She was my favorite.
Yeah.
Rainforest Cafe is a perfect place to go for dinner if you want, like, to be, like, constantly harassed and annoyed by, like, fake lightning.
Yeah.
The animals will start stampeding, and it's, like, it's horribly loud. It happens, like, every 20 minutes. And then what gets me is there's like guys who go around to the table, like Ben was saying. In particular, though, there's one who's like, he's a puppeteer and he carries around like a fake like chimpanzee. And that shit terrified me. I did not like that fucking ape. And this guy, I don't know. I don't know how old I was in this particular memory, but this guy, I went once with my family, and this guy, he noticed I hated the chimp, and he took full advantage of that, like cornering.
Oh my
like
God.
He's like, how about you pet Coco? Maybe. In hindsight, maybe he was trying to make me less afraid, but it wasn't helping. And I was like, no.
Get him away from me.
Like, as that restaurant is such a paradox as a kid, because like you see it from the outside and you're like, that is awesome. I want to eat Kraft shells and cheese in the jungle. But then you get in there and it's way too scary for like a toddler.
Yeah.
God damn, I'm glad I never went.
No, yeah, you were absolutely. I don't think you missed out by not going to Rainforest Cafe. I was terrified of Rainforest Cafe, mostly because of the hourly or half hour like rainforest thunderstorm.
Yeah.
That like terrified me. Like when in terms of restaurants that do, like the half hour special where they just, every half hour there's something in the room that's decided it's going to go ape shit every 30 minutes, Like
yeah, we need more of those.
I mean, I do think we need more of those. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Rainforest Cafe is always my least favorite because I was just like scared of it. I mean, now, nowadays I'll go in a Rainforest Cafe and be like, the thunderstorm will be going off and I'll be there just chilling in my seat. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not scared.
Like, it's not real.
But back when I was
Yeah, but we could expand on that like 30-minute interval idea at a restaurant. I mean, it doesn't have to be just like a rainforest. It could be
Right.
like a space themed restaurant every 30 minutes. Like
Yeah.
Get into like
I
a
don't know, the
tack.
oxygen gets sucked out of the room.
That's so specific and like.
Well, I do like the idea of like ones that do actively affect your eating experience. Like to me,
Oh, I like that.
and to me, that's what Rainforest Cafe. I mean, that Rainforest Cafe was on the verge of doing that. It was like when
Right.
you're under 10 years old and you're at a Rainforest Cafe and the thunderstorm starts going off, you immediately are like, "Holy shit! I've got to get out of here!" Like you're like, it's like there is a catastrophe happening inside this room, and I need to go.
Oh my god, I didn't realize it was that loud.
It's so loud.
It's
Like you
so loud
cannot,
when
you
you're
could not
little.
carry a conversation over the sound of the stampede.
And the room gets like dark, like all the lights start flickering and dimming and stuff.
And all the animatronics start screaming, and like I have a vivid memory of sitting there on like there's like a cheetah print plastic table that we're at, and my dad's like at the far corner of the table next to an animatronic gorilla, and I just
Oh my
have
god.
this memory of like my dad's trying to eat a steak and the gorilla starts just howling at him.
Yeah. It's like they call
my
you
God,
out or
that's
something.
It's pretty scary.
It never feels not personal when they set it off.
Yeah. It's like someone walked into like a Chuck E. Cheese and they saw the animal band and they were like, this is not how they would have this is not how animals would act. They would
Right.
not be singing and
Yeah,
dancing.
dude.
They would be fucking howling.
I have a weird memory of I don't know if like I was sick or something, but I have a memory of going to Chuck E. Cheese, and one of my biggest like one of the most profound things I remember was that it was empty. It was completely empty that day. I want to say it was like a Tuesday. My mom took me during like a school day. I don't know why I was not in school, but I went, and I want to say I went with like other kids too, like 2 or 3 other kids. I can't remember who they were, but it was so dead at this Chuck E. Cheese that the like 4 kids and I were able to just like climb right up on stage with the animatronics, and we were just like sticking our hands in their mouths.
What
and,
the fuck?
like, yeah, and just like just playing around with it, and then we like the curtain would close for like the show would end, and we'd be like behind the curtain, and we'd see all the animatronics like power down.
Oh my
We'd just
god.
be in this dark,
Dude, what the fuck?
enclosed area with a bunch of dead animatronics.
You're in the fucking Freddy Fazbear's back rooms, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Boom. Put my head in Chucky's mouth.
It's kind of awesome. I feel like if I had the chance to do that now, I'd probably like.
It was just like, I don't remember having a ton of fun, but I remember being like sticking my hand in Chucky's mouth and being like, wow, he kind of bites hard.
Owie.
Oh, Chucky got that mouth.
Oh.
Yeah, the last time I went to a Chuck E. Cheese, I was very young, and
No way.
I went there with my dad, and we went up to the token machine to get some like Chucky coins or whatever they're called,
Tokens.
and my dad like put his debit card in or whatever into the machine, because I guess you could do that back then.
In the old days.
In the old days. And some little girl came up to the machine and pressed like the $50 button or something.
Oh,
And,
God.
yeah.
and I don't even remember playing $50 worth of games at Chuck E. Cheese's because I don't remember anything about Chuck E. Cheese besides that one moment.
I did that to someone at the ATM the other day. Put their card in. I just ran up, pushed him to the side, typed in 6,000, enter.
Yeah. And then I also grabbed the money and then also had a gun with me.
Yeah, I held them up. I said, don't get up. This is going to be a funny story for my podcast. Don't get up. And then I took the money and I ran off.
Nice. That's I mean,
Have
who knows? It could have been Luke all those years ago.
I was
at
the
the
little
Chuck
girl.
E. Cheese.
Have you guys ever have you guys had a moment? So we've been doing the podcast for like a year now. Did you guys know that? I think it's been like 10 or 11 months
Oh my God.
since the first podcast.
10 or 11 years?
I should check.
Oh my
Should
God.
check.
Shit. I think it's at least it's coming up on a year.
Yeah, we
That's
should
crazy.
check that. Actually, it's probably really soon. That our channel is already a year old. The channel's a year old.
That's insane.
Oh my God.
disgusting.
But anyway, at any time since we've started podcasting, have you had a moment in your life where you leaned back and said to yourself, "This is going to be a great for the podcast. This is going to be awesome.
Oh yeah.
This is a podcast story right here."
I mean,
Because I think that's
I
pretty.
usually have that thought for about like 0.0001 second. And then it's gone. I'm just like, that'd be cool. Gone.
no, I mean like
Don't have time to write it down.
like I carry like a notebook with me of like, of like
I've seen it.
it's a notebook that
It's
just
full.
it just has podcast ideas and
Yeah, you get a notebook with a giant P off
a
of
giant P.
For podcast.
I mean, and it's
You have a
it's
second notebook that says S for sketches. Third notebook that says I don't know.
S for script.
Yeah. And then another one that says P for prescriptions.
that one I actually need.
It's rough when you get those mixed up.
Nah. yeah. I hate when I go to the CVS with my prescription, or I hate when I go to CVS to get my prescription, and all I can tell the pharmacist is the
like-
top 5 roller coasters based off of.
I go up to the pharmacist counter. And she's like, "This is a story about how your dad spent $50 at Chuck E. Cheese."
Oh, sorry, that was
I'm sorry, wrong P notebook.
wrong.
Yeah, let me get the prescriptions.
Oh my God.
Just a huge so funny.
Like it looks like there's no way like in like Blue's Clues
Podcast.
in Blue's Clues when he has that cartoon ass notebook that he opens up. That's what it looks like. You only write in it with a huge crayon.
Huge crayon. Yeah, oh God. A huge crayon.
Oh God, Blue's Clues was a great
Oh,
show,
shit.
man. I
Damn, I mixed up my photo book with my post book.
no. I just ordered some feces.
What are
At
you?
the restaurant.
What are you recording in the poop book? Is it like a poop log? Is it like,
6 inches. 6 inches.
Every 2 sheets are sandwiched together with a pile of poo. And that's the poop book.
Length 6
It's
inches.
3D.
yeah,
It's
it's actually
picture-
you would think that it was someone who just was doing crude sketches of every one of their shits, but no, It's someone who takes the log out of the toilet, crams it in the notebook.
Into the notebook. Damn it.
That's like people who press flowers. They just do it with their.
And they go back through it later, and they're like, "Oh, I remember that one."
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I remember what I ate at Subway that day, I believe.
Even though they all look exactly the same because they've been pressed into just a giant.
Some giant brown blob.
God damn.
Just completely flat.
Keep all my poops in a notebook.
Everyone, count them up.
You mentioned. Did you guys watch a lot of like Blue's Clues? What was your like kids show? What was your kids show of choice as like a toddler?
It was Blue's Clues for me. It was Blue's Clues, Teletubbies, and this weird show called Boo-Bah.
Oh yeah, I know that show.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's a British show. Boo-Bah.
Boo-Bah. Boo-Bah was the one I was probably, I mean, like in terms of toys and like just all media outside of the show was the one I was most invested in. I had like a Boo-Bah figure. I had a figure for every main Boo-Bah. Like they sold Boo-Bahs, and
It's called Boo-Bah figure.
Hey, Boo-Bah figure. I literally had Boo-Bahs, dude, and they're so fucking awesome. I love them.
I had never.
I like to. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say I'd never heard of Boo-Bah until a few years ago, when a friend of mine, he was shooting a horror skit, and like the murderous toy was he was like, it's a Boo-Bah. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but it was like that little fuzzy thing. And I watched an episode of Boo-Bah because I had never seen it. So I watched the first episode of Boo-Bah. I watched it when I was like 22. and that show was like that's like you take children's television and you like what's that called when you like boil something down to like it's bare elements, all that kind of stuff. You get what I'm saying.
Circumcise it.
It's really like somebody watched Teletubbies, right? And they were like, honestly, we could strip even more away from this.
Right.
And they're like, let's just have faces, colors, and that's it.
Right. Because they're not even in a...
Oh my god.
They're not even in a... Like, Teletubbies are in, like, a grassy area. Like, they have, like, a designed house. Boo-Bah's just live in, like, the white void.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, the only thing that pushes that further is Baby Einsteins. You guys ever watched that?
Oh, sure.
I did not watch Baby Einsteins, but I am familiar with it.
Dude, that is... I would watch Baby Einsteins today, dude. It is literally just... It's sensory videos for babies. There's no plot or anything. We had so many of these VCRs growing up for like my younger sisters when they were like, you know, still like not even one, and they would just sit in front of the TV mesmerized, and like most of the episodes were just like they would set up like a really cool intricate toy, like this one toy where like these little plastic penguins climb up these stairs and slide down a slide, and then they go back up the stairs, and it's just like in a loop.
Hell yeah.
It was just like that on repeat. That's all I remember.
And it turned you into a genius.
Yeah, dude, that's how it was advertised. It was like, and it also was like all classical music too behind it.
Either it turned people into geniuses, or it was the cause of everyone needing to watch Subway Surfers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Dude, for real.
Like,
Yeah,
That's
Subway Surfers is Baby Einsteins 2.0. Do you guys remember Little Einsteins?
yeah. I remember that one better. My little
Yeah,
sister
I
was
remember
a
Little
Baby
Einsteins
or
more
was a
so.
Little Einsteins fan.
Yeah.
Banger
The only thing I
theme
remember
song.
about that show is that the antagonist in that show was horrifying. It was literally just a jet, just called Jet. It was a jet plane that was just like they didn't ever tell you who the pilot was. It was just this horrifying, loud jet plane that
It was
that was the
An
antagonist of the
unidentified
show.
Russian
it was a
aircraft.
stealth bomber aircraft. He was the primary antagonist to the Little Einsteins. That
Like, what was their beef?
Oh.
What beef did Little
He just
Einsteins
fucking
have with a jet plane?
he hated their rocket ship.
All right.
He didn't like their rocket ship, who was like a little alive. Their rocket ship was like alive.
Oh.
He had little eyes and stuff, but the jet didn't have any eyes. He was just faceless. It just looked like a normal
There's just
jet
a guy
plane,
in there.
damn.
except it was blue.
He's just a
Oh,
guy in there
God.
who was racist.
I know.
It's their father.
Dude, literally the antagonist of that show is Starscream. Maybe there's nobody in there at all.
Transformer,
God.
he just never transforms.
Oh my God, that's just a car.
Dude, think about a movie where the Transformers never
I was
transform. That would just be a horror
just
movie.
thinking about that. I was just thinking about a Transformers movie where they mention multiple Transformers who don't like. They could have some Transformers that behave normally, but it'd be really funny if they just had a Transformers movie where they're just like, oh yeah, that's Ironhide, and he just stays as a truck for the whole movie.
Ironhide.
It's like he never talks.
Never once
It's a
transformed.
really low budget Transformers movie. Like if we made a Transformers movie,
There'd be no transforming.
they would never. We would have transform. They would never transform. It would be like Pete's car.
Yeah.
Right.
And like if you had to,
They would just smash into shit.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you cut to reaction shots of all the humans. You just hear like metallic clanging explosions.
yeah. Oh my God, he's
And
transforming.
then you hear him transform back to a car, and it cuts back to the car.
Dude, alright, now I'm thinking about a new idea. I'm proposing this pitch. Imagine a world that's kind of like a mixture of Transformers and Pokemon, right? So like humans have their cars, right? Like everybody's got a car that belongs to them, and this car it is not organically alive in any way. It doesn't have a face or anything. It doesn't make human sounds, but it is fully alive, and it will fight other cars and run into other people and drive itself on its own. It's literally just Transformers, but they don't ever transform and they don't speak.
Whoa. That'd be sick, man.
It's just fucking. I mean, that's
way better.
That's kind of. I think that's kind of how I always felt about my car in like high school. You know, I was like,
Yeah, does your car have a name?
yeah. I mean, people used to call my car "Daddy's money" because my dad paid for my car, but
Oh damn.
Oh
But,
my god.
that's not a very Transformer name.
Daddy's Ironhide, Starscream, and Daddy's money. Holy shit.
Yeah. And yeah, your car, for a car called Daddy's Money, your car has been dead more than it's been alive from the time of knowing you.
Do you think if a car battery dies, like what if a Transformer's possessing a car and the car battery dies, can you just not do anything?
His battery's dead.
Sam, my battery's dead.
I need you to jumpstart
Go
me.
to a
I
mechanic.
need a job. Oh my god.
Pop the tires, Sam.
Yeah, Optimus Prime gets a flat tire. You can't do anything.
So like, Do you think getting like a boot on your car is that just the same thing as a transformer getting put in handcuffs?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, can they not? I don't know. And I imagine they'd be limited in many. It seems maybe like it would be more like a piercing.
Well, I would
Could be,
think that if a transformer were to transform while there's a boot attached to the car, I think it would destroy the boot. But presumably, if they
What if it just ripped apart the transformer from the inside?
right. Well, I'm thinking if they made like a boot made out of whatever the Allspark is made out of. You know, like Cybertron
technology.
Cybertronium or whatever.
Cybertronian.
Yeah, unobtainium.
Yeah, isn't that a real thing in Transformers or some shit?
Unobtainium is from
No,
Avatar.
that's an Avatar.
What?
That's why they're fighting the Na'vi. They want to get unobtainium.
What? Okay, I knew that, but why did they? Or like, I knew that at some point, but why did they? Why on earth did they call it unobtainium?
I don't know. I think James Cameron realized that was ridiculous because I don't think they ever mentioned unobtainium in the second one.
I can't get-ium or something.
Yeah, impossible to get.
There's I can't find him.
I can't find him. Unobtainium.
Extremely rare material.
Hard to get him.
Like literally. Oh my god. I mean, I would have believed that to be a Transformers thing just as much, actually. I think I would have liked it more as a Transformers element.
Yeah. Because then Optimus Prime would get to say, unobtainium.
Right, then it would have been awesome.
Cybertron's last hope.
When Jake Sully says it, it's just somehow not as cool.
It's not saying.
Yeah.
General Quidditch says it, it's just doesn't hit the same.
What do you think they did with Jake Sully's body after he turned into a permanent blue guy?
Well, I think in the movie it explodes or something.
His body?
Yeah, it's in like it's in like a building that blows up, I think. I'm not sure, but
There are literally 10,000 buildings that explode in Avatar.
But you used to, in the first one, they like had to be plugged in for like the duration that they were avataring. But then I don't know. Was he just left like a limp, useless body? Could they perhaps harvest his organs or
I don't know. You think they ate him? Like deep fried him or something?
They put him in the air fryer.
They made him nice and crispy. And they were like, does it make you feel...
I mean, like, what else are you going to do with him?
They
He's
put
a
him in a
handicapped
big
veteran.
They put him in a big blue deep fryer.
Yeah, maybe Jake Sully went back and grabbed his own body and he was like, I've always wanted to do this. And then he like lowers it into a big fry basket.
Oh, that's hilarious. Imagine him and his Na'vi family just crowded around his own corpse, and he's like, "Oh my god, oh, this is so succulent."
Oh, God, I'm delicious. Holy shit.
He brings back a completely like crispy fried human, but he doesn't tell his family that it's him.
He's like, just eat it. Just fucking. He's like,
All-
I get the brain.
Also, because they're on Pandora, it's all blue. Like
Yeah.
when you make if you were to make fried chicken
The
on
batter
Pandora,
is
it's blue. It's just blue.
It'd be really very funny to me if Pandorans like they're these like they have like bows and arrows and shit, but they deep fry all their cooking.
Yeah,
Like,
that should be like in the next in like the third or fourth one, they gotta have.
Oh my god, dude! Can you guys imagine Cajun Navi? Dude, how's it going, y'all? Today we're gonna be making some pie con on the grill.
That'd be fucking awesome.
That'd be sick. Put your swamp, Navi.
Add yourself a pound of butter. Chop up that. I don't know what an alien
alligator.
Yeah, they still live in huts, but they just have massive commercial grills and stuff in there.
Yeah, they got giant grills with like fucking huge propane tanks.
Fry up a little bit of alien dinosaur.
They're just frying, grilling, anything. They're cooking up a storm.
Another stick of butter. Ah, yeah.
Put some pepper on there.
Had it. Put that pepper on there. I can't. That'd be awesome. Honestly, if I saw that in like the trailer for an Avatar movie, I'd be more inclined to go because that's just like,
oh yeah,
a funny idea. Like I know that there's now canonically like different races of Na'vi.
Right.
And they're like internally racist on their own. Like
right.
Like humans are racist against them, and then internally they're also racist amongst one another.
Right. And inevitably within the next 3 movies, one of the Avatar movies is going to be probably very racist because they're going to just make one a stereotype of something, of someone, you know, like
yeah, like you got Jar Jar, you got the
yeah. I mean, it's just it's a minefield for James Cameron.
Didn't James Cameron say something about Na'vi that can make machines or something? They're like the industrial class. They're gonna be enemy in some movie.
Dude, come on, man. Can we like that's like the first idea I would have. It's like
I don't know if that's real.
Oh man, like it seems totally plausible. There's so many of these sequels. There's gonna be like a Na'vi city.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Like a Na'vi. I don't know. Like the Na'vi themselves are gonna like lose respect for the nature that they came from.
Oh no! Yeah, they're gonna become westernized.
Yeah.
And they're going to.
They're gonna be capitalists.
Yeah.
Can't wait for them to show Na'vi York City.
President Jake Sully.
Dude. I know James Cameron said like a while ago, like I want to say it was even before Avatar 1 came out, he said that Avatar 5 will take place on Earth. So I wonder if the Na'vi are going to do a switcheroo and just capitalist invade Earth. Wouldn't that be the most ironic?
That would be awesome. That
Oh
would be so
my
cool.
god, dude.
I'll be first in line to see it, honestly. It's
my god. I hope he holds true to that.
And you have like depictions of like the Na'vi like blowing up the Eiffel Tower. Like
oh my
Na'vi,
god.
like a big Na'vi whale just like crashing
right
through like the Empire State Building.
Empire State Building, yeah, just they're cutting off the head of the Statue of Liberty with like a laser bow weapon.
Yeah, they're
thing.
riding on the back of a pterodactyl and they shoot an arrow into like the head of Lady Liberty or something like that. They shatter the glass pyramid at the Louvre.
That'd be freaking sweet.
They shatter the giant Bass Pro Shops. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like I like that idea that for the remainder of the Avatar films, James Cameron's like, all right, I am committed to being as obvious as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need to be like, there to be no room for interpretation. And I just need to make the most straightforward.
I would love it. I would absolutely just laugh and laugh. if the trailer for the next Avatar movie opens with just this insane futuristic city.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wow, the humans have really colonized Pandora now. And it zooms in, and it's just a bunch of Na'vi walking around in, like, futuristic suits.
Yeah, they've all got suits on.
Stuff.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, like, the trailer starts, you don't know it's for an Avatar movie yet. It's just like, you get the green band, like PG-13 or whatever. And then you see, like, someone... You see someone walking in a suit, they're carrying a briefcase, and then you see that their hand is blue.
You see a tail fly through frame.
Yeah, they see a tail coming out. And you're like, whoa!
Oh my god.
It's a Na'vi businessman.
Dude, that's how Avatar is going to end. I swear by it. There will be a Na'vi businessman by the end of the story.
A Na'vi, like, tech bro.
This reminds me of I was telling Ben about this like a week or so ago, a little while back. But Cade, have you seen the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes movie from like 2006 or something?
Let me look it up real quick. I don't actually.
Okay,
know.
so basically,
but continue.
Avatar.
I'm gonna just say no.
Yeah, Avatar is already like basically the ideas from Planet of the Apes, but like less interesting. But in that Tim Burton Planet of the Apes, it stars Mark Wahlberg, and the premise of the old Planet of the Apes movies is a guy goes into space, he lands on a planet, and it's apes, and then at the end he discovers that he finds out it's Earth. Yeah. So it's the same premise for this Tim Burton one. Mark Wahlberg goes into space, and then he lands on Earth, interacts with a bunch of monkeys. He kind of has sexual tension with one of the apes, which is pretty uncomfortable.
Nice.
And then so in the original, the guy, he like rides off on a horse, and then he finds the Statue of Liberty, and presumably he's stuck there forever. But in the Mark Wahlberg one, he gets back to his spaceship, like fixes it, launches back into space, and he's like, I'm going back to Earth. And then he lands again, and his pod lands in the middle of Washington, D.C., right? So he made it back. In the background, it's the Washington Monument. He's at the
Oh my god! I think I already know where this is going.
he's at the foot of the stairs of the Lincoln Memorial. And he's like, "Oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'm back. I'm back on Earth." And he goes up the stairs of the Lincoln Memorial, and he's like, "What the heck?" He doesn't actually say that, but he like he looks up, and the camera pans up, and you see that Abraham Lincoln is a big ape.
No.
Yeah. And then he gets swarmed by police cars, which they just look like normal police cars. And a bunch of ape cops come out, and he gets arrested by like ape police. And what's crazy about that is like they could have had him land, like a few miles outside of a city, right? They could have had him land like, and he gets out of his pod and he sees like what looks like Chicago in the distance, right? And he's like, wow, I made it. And then he gets closer and he realizes that it's Monkey World. But
yeah,
the implication of this ending is that monkey history went precisely exactly the same way as human history, like to the day, practically. Like, I don't see how there could be any variation, and you would still have the exact same memorials in the exact same place.
Right.
And,
like
there was ape slavery.
There's ape slavery, an ape civil war.
Dude, if there was really Abraham Lincoln, and like there was definitely like John Wilkes Booth as an ape.
Yeah, was he? Presumably, he was assassinated by a southern ape.
I mean, you could carry along the path. There was Adolf Hitler at some point.
Yeah, like all that shit must like. It's the implications of this like hilarious ending are like baffling. It's like honestly maybe one of the most memorable and hilarious endings to any movie I've ever seen. I don't even remember the rest of the movie, but it plays it completely straight. It's like not a joke.
I love that. And I love when movies just have a crazy, absurd twist ending, and they're like, "This is real. This is
what happened."
You just watched it. It was serious. It mattered. Wake up. And that's how I think Avatar should go. I think Avatar should progressively. We should see Na'vi. We should see a Na'vi like, maybe not a Lincoln Memorial, but like a Na'vi Lady Liberty, or maybe like $1 with a Na'vi printed on it. That would be.
Oh my god! That would be. Luke, you're a genius.
Yeah, oh my god! There's so many sequels planned that I feel like that could really happen.
Right.
Like,
I mean, I feel like Avatar 3, they gotta like set up the Na'vi as an advanced race where they're like, oh yeah, we started building cities. Avatar 4, you got Na'vi Pandora World War I, where all the tribes of Na'vi have taken sides, formed alliances.
Yep.
And are fighting because the leader of one tribe was assassinated.
Right.
Avatar 5 is now Pandora World War II, where
oh my god,
where
Nazi Na'vis.
Na'vi General Quaritch has
he's still there.
He's now.
Formed a Reich.
Yeah.
He is
the Na'vi. A Na'vi.
He's formed the Nazis.
Yeah, the Nazi Na'vis. And what does Hitler say? He's like 1,000-year Reich or whatever.
Yeah,
1,000-year Na'vi Reich.
The Nazi.
And they do the salute and everything too. Like
to the T.
This is what is going on in James Cameron's brain, I swear to God. Like, he wrote Avatar 1 and then he spent 9 years trying to figure out anything else to do but precisely this idea that we're pitching.
I mean, just the fact that he's had all 5 of these movies planned out since the 90s is it really is insane to me. Like, so much culturally has shifted since the 90s.
Right.
That I don't understand how he has continued to be culturally relevant for not only 1 but 2 movies, and I can't imagine how he's going to do it for all 5. But
it's
just fucking insane.
You see that? There's that article that was getting memed on where it's like I just had them read the script for Avatar 4. The only note they had, holy shit.
Holy fuck, yeah.
Like, the people reading the script were like, oh my god, that's just like us.
Yeah. And these are like the top executives that are,
the best.
Approving every single script.
The best of the best.
Studios making Avatar.
All right, folks. Well,
What do you say we round this off with a big round butt?
Oh yeah.
the big round.
The
I said a big round butt.
what you think
Oh,
about
yeah.
my big round
Cap this with a big round butt. Well, folks, so concludes another episode of the Nondescript Video Podcast, episode 40.
39
episode 39.
Next week will be episode 40.
I think, yeah, we'll have to do something because I feel like I think we are approaching a year, so maybe we'll do something special for our 40th podcast because
podcast
I
birthday
think-
party.
I think by the time this podcast goes up a couple weeks from now, we'll be looking at a year at something of an anniversary. So
Right.
stay tuned, like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. We appreciate you coming back. Next week we'll probably mention 9/11 again.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that's it. I don't know what else would Pete say? I mean,
Pete would say
Something racist.
you would say something we don't want. You'd either talk about wrestling or say something off color.
So. You folks in the audience can just imagine one of those things.
Yeah.
Whatever your preference is.
And hopefully Peter will be back with us next week.
Yes. Hopefully next week we will have the
The
first
whole club.
4-person podcast in quite some time.
Quite a while, yes. All right, folks. Thanks for listening, and
All
we'll
right. Good night.
see you later.
Great.